Welcome to WagerTalk TV. I am Kelly Stewart, joined by Las Vegas Chris and Rob Vino from WagerTalk today. Guys, I'm really excited to talk about this SEC matchup. Number 11, Texas A&M, 6.5-point favorite over Mississippi State. Boy, have the mighty fallen since they beat LSU just a couple short weeks ago. This Mississippi State team has shown several moments of greatness. I like them catching points here at home. Rob, what say you?
Well, I would agree, Kelly. And I think that, the so-called elephant in the room, or at least it didn't take long for people to turn on Mike Leach, right? It's Mike Leach's offense. That's the problem here, according to most. 14 points and 10 interceptions thrown in the last 2 weeks. That is a problem. But he can't face Bo Pelini every week, right? I mean, Bo Pelini would be great if he could drive the limo there and pick him up and let him coordinate the defense that Leach is playing against. They go from 623 yards, SEC record in that first game, to facing Barry Odom, who went defensive back heavy, 3-2-6, sort of made them dink and dunk. And then he went up against Mark Stoops, another great defensive coordinator who really didn't do anything out of the ordinary. He kept his straight 3-4 defense, trusted his linebackers, and he pressured KJ Costello. I think the problem that you have here for this team is not Leach's offense. It's the fact that the pieces just haven't run it, and they're seeing different things for the very first time. Remember, KJ Costello comes from Stanford. They really haven't he hasn't run this thing. He hasn't faced these types of defenses against air raid. I think they'll be just fine in time. A bigger problem might be the fact that they're wasting Kylan Hill. They're not running the football whatsoever. It's typical of Mike Leach not to run, but only 8.7% of Mississippi State's total yards have come via the run this season. So they've got to get Kylan Hill worked in a little bit here. On the bright side, the run defense has really been good. It'll come into play here because Texas A&M will want to run, and Mississippi State could neutralize that. I think one more good thing here, guys, is that Mississippi State has outgained every single opponent they played by at least 125 yards. So there are some good things here for MSU. The game probably comes down to them moving the football through the air. This time they face Mike Elko. He's a 4-2-5 defensive coordinator. He'll let them pass the football. They will. A&M will want to establish the run. I don't know that they will because Mississippi State's run defense has been so good. And A&M lost one of their starting wide receivers in the game last week. So that wide receiving core, through opt-outs and injuries, is totally depleted. I think Mississippi State plus the points here is probably a real good side at home.
All right, Chris, the total's 55 in this one, and as well as liking the Mississippi State side, I thought it was a little low. And I think what we start to see is what happened last week, and that air raid of Mike Leach's being shut down. I think this total seems a little bit low. Your thoughts on the Aggies versus the Bulldogs?
Well, a lot of great points made. I think A&M is going to try to run the ball, and as Rob stated, Mississippi State is not giving up yards on the ground. And if you look at the way Mississippi State's trying to run their offense, they're spending 75% of their possessions trying to pass the ball, yet they still rank the 8th worst in pass completion yardage. So even when they're completing their passes, they're not moving the ball very well. So I think with A&M trying to move the ball, and it won't be that easy, and with the dink and dunk, the under may actually be something to look at here. A&M played 2 really tough games against Alabama and Florida, emotional games. They showed up after the Alabama tough loss. With these empty stadiums, I don't think getting up and down is the ups and downs aren't as big as they normally would be. So it's funny because I asked a Vegas lines maker, and I said, "What do you think about the A&M Mississippi State game?" And he says, "Oh, A&M. How can't you like A&M?" So I kind of it's a tough spot for A&M on the road, but when not facing Saban, usually there's decent luck for the coach there. So I would lean A&M, and I'd lean the under.
All right, great stuff from Rob and Chris. Make sure you guys head over to the WagerTalk YouTube channel and check out all of our other videos.